Thank you, friends. But shalom, greetings to you all. Condolences go out to Donna and Richard, both of whom lost their mothers the other day. The loss of anyone we love, we are close to, we share life with, can have devastating effects as the fabric of our souls ends up torn and tattered. May their souls rest at peace beneath the wings of God in the Garden of Eden. It is a time that signals healing. Let us send out healing energy to all who need it, and who among us does not benefit from goodwill and from healing energy. Misha Berech Avoteinu Makor HaBracha Limotenu. May the source of strength who blessed the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing. The renewal of body, the renewal of spirit. And let us say, Amen. Friends, let us all have our spirits renewed. Now, on another note, it was great to hear from my old friend Task. He is truly one of the great Jewish scholars of our times. He carries the weight and the wisdom of the ages in what he says and thinks. A soul who has lived many great lifetimes of learning, of teaching, of sharing. Wonderful to hear from you, Task. One of that select group you think about, but do not always see or speak to. But when you do, it's like picking up a conversation you were in the midst of. And your suggestions for books was brilliant. I do not see you enough, my friend, but you are never far from my thoughts. A special thanks go to Ellen for that fabulous article she sent, dealing with what was termed predicate theology, a move by Reconstructionist founder Rabbi Mordechai Kaplan and the conservative and Reconstructionist trained Rabbi Harold Schulweis to move God as a subject to the concept of God or godliness in the emphasis of qualities. Now, it's also something that appeals greatly to the atheistic Jewish community, of which the Society for Humanistic Judaism is the main participant. And this philosophy allows more people to maintain more of the culture and spirit of religion without the revolving or necessary belief in God as a being. Now, in some ways, it actually satisfies Maimonides' concept of God, since the Guide to the Perplexed emphasized God being one, meaning there are no parts. God is simply perfect unity and a part of everything, and therefore, there's no being or thing. It's just a part of everything. Now, if you get a chance, friends, you should read Rabbi Schulweis's book, Evil and the Morality of Good, and you'll understand the move towards not God is just, but that justice is godly. Not God is compassionate, but compassionate is godly. It's about the characteristics, not the being. For those who have trouble, and don't accept the being, but want to accept the traits. Now, I personally do not have a dilemma in that. I can believe in God the being, the creator, as well as the characteristics of God and what makes things godly. They are not mutually exclusive. I also do not have to wrestle with the question of moral dilemmas of why the things that happen. If God were so great, so nice, so wonderful, so compassionate, which is what caused some of this thought process to begin with. Now, we spent thousands of years anthropomorphizing a deity who disappeared a long time ago when he or she realized what they created, but promised not to destroy it. Go back to Genesis 6:5, and the Lord saw that the evil of man was great in the earth, and every imagination of his heart was only evil all the time. And the Lord regretted that he had made man upon the earth, and he became grieved in his heart. Then, go to Deuteronomy 32:20 at the end of the book. And he said, I will hide my face from them. I will see what their end will be, for they are a generation of changes. They're not recognizable as my children whom I have reared. God said he would hide his face from us, and he has kept to his word. Yes, we may have driven God to turn his or her face from mankind several thousand years ago, but I think we hold to the belief deep inside that the traits of godliness still exist within us, and maybe, just maybe, we can alter the inclination of our hearts to do evil. And if that is as close to deity as you can get, that is great. Thank you again for sending that article. It's fantastic. And of course, this is a big birthday week. Whether you're from the Great White North or Yankee Doodle Dandy, happy birthday, Canada. Happy birthday, USA. Each of the great friends is celebrating its birth as a nation this week. And both celebrated its independence from another country that also had an interesting type of birthday this week, as the British voted to leave the European Union. The world continues, a country that has been independent and unique since Roman times, that from the beginning of this recent economic association refused to share a currency or actually even open its borders with Europe. In the future, will all the countries that has done trade and economic ties continue to? You bet. Will the royal family still rule? I certainly think so. This is not a banana republic revolution. In fact, it's not a revolution at all. Tourists will continue to go there. The Beatles will still be the best band in the world. And the Tower of London will not suddenly cease being a museum and revert back to being a prison. We need to stop catastrophizing anything and everything that can happen. Humanity is resilient, my friends, and this week we read about an incident that had even more catastrophic consequences than Brexit. Man is resilient. Just over a year after the Exodus, he saw the promised land. Not just saw it, but walked up to it and reached in. But fear prevented us from claiming what was ours, and we have been on a search for it ever since. Was that the end of the world? The end of humanity? The end of will? No. Man is resilient, and so are you. This is Sheila Send, mislabeled as the episode of The Spies. But what you will see is these were not spies at all. These were the tribal chieftains and leaders. And this is about their failure to lead, about them being governed by fear, about them lying, but the result of which is a generation that was sentenced to die. I've had enough of reading things of neurotic, psychotic, pig-headed politicians. All I want is the truth. Just give us the truth. John Lennon's Just Give Me Some Truth. We cannot be led by fear, and we cannot have fear as our expected outcome in life. So why is this called the episode of The Spies? I mean, everywhere you read, you're going to see that's what it's called, the episode of The Spies. Well, you know what? It's easier. Perhaps because we do not like to think of our leaders as being that fearful, that feeble, that incapable of inspiration and accomplishment, or that much as liars. The more things change. Numbers 13:1. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Send you men, that they scout the land of Canaan, which I am about to give to the Israelites. One man each for his father's tribe, every one of them a chieftain. Well, there you go, my friends. Not spies, but chiefs, whose function is not espionage, but observation. Well, they look around. They cut a stalk of grapes that take 2 men to carry. And they came back from scouting the land at the end of 40 days. Well, hey, there's that formulaic biblical number again. They report that it truly is a land flowing with milk and honey. But the people are mighty and are the offspring of the giants. The legendary man-god hybrids first mentioned in Genesis 6, of whom Goliath might have been the last of, but that's a different topic. The land through which we pass to scout is a land that consumes those who dwell in it, and all the people whom we saw in it are men of huge measure. And there did we see the Nephilim, sons of the giant from the Nephilim. And we were in our own eyes like grasshoppers, and so we were in their eyes. Well, Caleb says they can and should enter the promised land, but the others say we cannot go up against the people, for they are stronger than we. They are the people's leaders. That is why their negativity when they return is so devastating. It's not just a disappointing bit of intelligence. It's a failure to lead and a failure to encourage. Friends, have you ever fought a battle you were not guaranteed you would win? Have you ever overcome the odds against you and triumphed? I bet you all have. But this was an uninspired and uninspiring generation with a slave mentality. As Bob Dylan sang in Tight Connection to My Heart, what looks large from a distance, close up ain't never that big. It never is. The narrative then returns to the grumbling, mumbling, complaining, which will be the identifier of the wilderness generation. As the seeds of rebellion take hold. The community wants Egypt. They want to stone Joshua and Caleb, and perhaps Moses and Aaron too. And it takes God's glory, his cloud, to save them. As the Lord says, it's time to kill all the people. But Moses pleads for their lives and prevails, but not before God pronounces sentence. They have seen the miracles of God like no other generation, but they still complain. And I think of that fantastic Steve Goodman song, What Have You Done For Me Lately? What have you done for me lately? Such a common attitude. What have you done for me lately is how old friends show their gratitude. But just when you need a little support, their faces get long and their memories get short. What have you done for me lately? Lately, I've been doing without you. Numbers 14:22. For all the men who have seen my glory and my signs that I did in Egypt and in the wilderness, yet have tried me 10 times over, and have not heeded my voice. They shall never see the land that I swore to their fathers, and all who despise me shall not see it. And to drive home the point, and your sons will be herdsmen in the wilderness for 40 years. And they will bear your whoring until your corpses come to an end in the wilderness by the number of days that you scouted the land. 40 days, a day for a year. You will bear your crimes for 40 years, and you will know what it is to thwart me. There you go, my friends. The sentence is pronounced. And the Parsha ends with a return to an explanation and example of laws. Very odd, especially an interesting one regarding Sabbath, before picking up again with the rebellion. And that we will read next week. But remember, friends, all we want is the truth. Just give us the truth. For the world is sacred, so is everything in it. Express your gratitude. Light a candle, make a wish, celebrate your life and the lives of those you love. Share your feelings with them, live free, be free, honor your freedom. This is the week to celebrate that freedom. Be well, be happy, be blessed. Share and honor the light and all who live in the light and continue to shine. Continue to send everybody you know goodwill and love. Pray for peace and freedom for everyone, an end to terror and hatred. Remember, friends, we are a community. We learn together, we celebrate each other, we love each other, we share this ride together, men and women equally. Let us send out love, not fear, send out peace, harmony, good healing to all who need it. And please do learn to forgive and learn to love. Open your hearts and honor the relationships of your life. Tell those you love that you love them. Take advantage of the time you have. Enjoy the journey. We take the twists and turns and the patterns that weave through the fabric of our lives in our effort to grow, to learn, to be, to love. So please do love. Send healing, goodwill, and love to all who need it. Time to celebrate your holiness is now. As always, bless you all. Have a fantastic week, a week of love and light and peace and healing, and honor the people of your life. Happy birthday, Canada. Happy birthday, America. You say it's your birthday. It's my birthday too, yeah. They say it's your birthday. We're gonna have a good time. I'm glad it's your birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Celebrate, everybody. Do not stop your journey. Do not stop moving towards your promised land. It is there. It's in sight. Keep on dreaming. Keep on being. Keep sharing. Keep shining. Keep teaching. Keep spreading your holiness. Do not follow fear. Thank you all for joining me, for participating, for sharing your sacred time in your sacred place. I love you all, and I will see you next time. Shabbat Shalom.